Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this particular video, I'd like to talk about Doctor Who once again, relating to that great topic of great companions who never were in the history of Doctor Who. Only this time, I'm going to be flipping it on its ear once again, referencing a character who was, for a time, a companion of the Doctor, but does not meet the criteria of having further adventures with said Doctor in the TARDIS through time and space. That being the third Doctor era's companion, that was Liz Shaw. Now, she only existed for one season, the 7th season of the classic series, comprising 4 stories or 25 episodes, of which I own the first and last of her appearances, Spearhead from Space and Inferno, respectively. And as it's my understanding that the following story, post her departure of the series, I believe was called Terror of the Autons, she's only mentioned as having gone back to Cambridge. We never actually see her saying goodbye to the Doctor. And that is because I think, by and large, her character was written into a corner because of that whole aspect of that season where the Doctor was largely in exile on Earth as punishment from the Time Lords. They really never got off the planet, and of course the Doctor would trump her at every turn, even though she was very much an intellectual. She was plucked out of Cambridge studying sciences and meteorites and things like that by the Brigadier, and she basically had to exist within the shadow of the Doctor. We never saw her placed into scenarios like visiting alien worlds or encountering monsters, which I think would have been very interesting, sort of falling back loosely on the previous video wherein I discussed having someone who was of a scientific background or medical background to meet the Doctor, and so that you would have someone playing off him, whether through morals or principles or just disagreements, if they had actually taken her off Earth for a few stories. There's also the Inferno version of her character, which was actually the first I ever encountered when I bought the Inferno DVD, of course. This being a very fascist, militaristic, alternate universe version of Liz Shaw with a tendency toward rage and closed-mindedness. The Doctor was transported to this alternate universe where he's trying to convince the brigade leader version of Lethbridge-Stewart rather than the Brigadier, as well as this Liz Shaw version of his, having existed in another universe where they were friends and having all of these adventures previously in time and space with alien cultures and things that they couldn't understand if they even tried to. And she was very much, as I say, closed-minded and didn't want to hear it. But through the course of the Inferno story, if memory serves, it's been a while since I actually sat through it, I believe she became probably the most sympathetic toward the Doctor, actually saving his life in the end from the brigade leader, as the brigade leader had a gun pointed at the Doctor, and the Doctor, of course, manages to just sort of by the skin of his teeth get back to our universe. I think it would have been really interesting to have explored even perhaps a meeting of these two incarnations of Liz Shaw, having the woman of great intellectual capacity and sciences meet with this militaristic fascist version of herself and perhaps, have to deal with each other. Maybe the Doctor could have schooled them both and taught them both something about the greater aspects of the universe, because one would only ever have experience sitting behind a microscope, whereas the other would always have a closed-minded view of the world and the universe. And I think there could have been a lot of interesting aspects to these characters if delved into with further adventures in the TARDIS, as I say, through the vortex, through time and space. And so I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you think of this particular choice, that being either of the incarnations of Liz Shaw. Would you have liked to have actually had a chance to delve deeper into her history and her character, whether, as I say, in the mirror universe, the alternate universe, if you will, fascist version, or the woman of sciences that was her main incarnation? And otherwise, that'll be it for me on this one, and I'll catch you later. Peace.